What's up all my fellow riders? I can totally feel the desperation too. I feel the same. I couldn't ride the bike, so there you go. I'm trying to be close as possible, at least by wearing a motorcycle jacket. And big shout out to Kaboch. This is a big Nepali brand. They are starting making motorcycle gears and stuff, so make sure you check them out too. And soon I'm gonna review that too. But for now, while we're stuck at home isolated, feeling what to do and what not, missing all the rides and all the empty roads to speed on, and it's crazy at the moment. And like you and me, all the people should stay home and be conscious, save everyone's life for now. But the thing is, we can't show you the new motorcycles because of the lockdown, but luckily for us, there has been some footages and videos which we never published. We did a shoot, we tested a bike, we rode it, but these videos we never published in our YouTube channel. But seems like it has worked in a good side for us at the lockdown like this. Looks like we still have some infos about this bike we can show to you, keep you entertained and keep you informed. And today we're going to be shedding some light on this motorcycle which we never published. It's Suzuki Gixer 250 SF.
Being a new bike, so let's start with this engine, which company claims it's newly designed and made just for this motorcycle, which is 249cc 4-stroke 1-cylinder, and the best part, oil-cooled engine. I emphasized in oil-cooled engine because it is first developed by Suzuki company, and the benefits of having oil-cooled engine is you don't have to be spending time or money as in liquid-cooled engine by refueling or changing coolant, and also the engine doesn't get heated as much in the air-cooled engine. Oil-cooled engine does the job of cooling its engine by using the same liquid or lubricant you use for your whole engine. And as for the power that creates by this engine is 26.5 PS at 9000 rpm and torque of 22.6 Nm at 7500 rpm, which is standard enough in my opinion for nearly all 250cc class motorcycle. But the downside on this motorcycle is it doesn't have that bite in the beginning as we feel in some of the sports style motorcycle in 250cc segment. But at the same time it does pick up the speed once you are riding for a while, and the reason could be its less tooth sprocket or just the way it's made to be more practical day-to-day ride motorcycle than a fast moving aggressive beast. Also don't get fooled by its looks. Even if company had managed to put covers all around the bike to make it sporty, it doesn't feel that sporty once you ride it. It seems like it is trying to achieve the sports factor and the touring factor on the same motorcycle, which is a big fail. The seating position already tells you about that. The seating stance is not racy enough and not lifted up enough to be cruisy at the same time. It could be good enough bike for the person who commutes home to work and walk to home, and on some occasions on off-road. But for someone who does hardcore off-road, it's not a bike for it in any aspect for sure. But for someone who races or loves speed, it can be good in some extent, but still not good enough for that purpose too, as its suspension is made softer than on the stiffer side, which can create instability especially on the corners when you are riding in speed. The suspension offered in this bike is telescopic, coil spring, oil damp for the front, and swing arm type mono suspension for the rear. And a good part of its soft suspension is you can take this bike in simple off-roads despite of its sporty looks.
So as we share things about this motorcycle, some good and bad bits, but there is special thing, or I really want to highlight in this, is the worst of this motorcycle, and it must be the looks of this motorcycle. This kind of looks or design has been popular maybe 5-6 years ago, but having the development or upgrade on the motorcycle with the design and it looks compensating to its performance, this one seems really behind. The company must have used the old school design or like a very early days model, and it's a big no for me. And even to add on that ugliness, they have used these headlights and tail lights, which is very outdated, and the side lights they have used is disgraceful. I would not recommend that for sure. And also the windscreen is too short to be useful, so I just think it's just adding on to its ugliness than making it appealing.
let's talk about some numbers. Its saddle height is 800mm, which is not too high, so good for short riders too. Ground clearance of 165mm, which is useful for simple off-road adventure, as I had said earlier. And the weight, which is not too heavy or not too light, keeping it at 161 kilograms. And to stop this weight in speed, the best part of the bikes comes in, that is the braking. Surprisingly enough, around this price, SF250 does offer dual channel ABS, which is amazing, especially with big size disc of 300mm for the front, which does perfect job of stopping with extra safety from ABS. Working along with pair of alloy wheels and tubeless tires for both front and rear, with a decent size 110mm and 150mm respectively. And to keep up with other companies' motorcycle in the same segment, SF does comes with fuel injection and wet multiplate type clutch.
So in the end, this motorcycle does have good and bad aspects to it. Like, we do live in a world where nothing is perfect, and so is this motorcycle. But it still does offer you good braking system with a pair of ABS and standardly performing engine and few other different features. But the looks is a big no for me, as I said earlier. But as for a practical ride, or like an everyday ride for everyday people, this might be a practical bike. But if you are someone like me who wants to test it to its limit, it's a big no, unless you tweak, unless you change some parts of it. So in this way you can make it better performing motorcycle. In the end, I would like to say this motorcycle is average performing and not so appealing design motorcycle.